Ventura County is home to more than 1,000 youth in out-of-home care, including foster homes, relative homes, and group homes. School stability is extraordinarily difficult for youth that experience life in foster care. We all have a responsibility to ensure that these youth have every opportunity to succeed in school and in life. As educators, teachers, and potential caregivers, there is more support than ever for youth in need. Our roles vary, but our goal is the same: that every youth is given the opportunity and the tools to meet their potential.
When I was 7 years old was the first time I ever got into the foster care system. I was about 3 hours into the class around noon, and this person comes into the room and says, come into the office. And I was scared. It was this lady just asking me a lot of questions. After that, we got into her vehicle and then drove 2 hours from where we were. When I got taken away that day, I pledged, I'm like, I'm gonna be a better kid, and I'm going to prove to these people, whoever they are, that I'm a good kid.
I was 7 years old when I was placed in foster care, and I remember just having trash bags full of clothes. And my little brother and sister were with me, and then the next day, a man showed up with a big white van. My life never went back to the way it was. It was just scary, you know, having to start all over again with basically in two different areas in my life, with school and meeting new friends, and then adjusting to a whole new family, just leaving everything behind that you know.
Kids in foster care have been through a lot, they need a lot of support, and so we're really looking for caregivers that we can match with the kiddos to ensure that while they're in care, they're really getting what they need and are able to progress, grow, and develop in healthier ways. They need to know that their community, their teachers, their neighborhood is behind them in order for them to get better.
For me, when I work with students, I work with the whole child, and that doesn't mean just giving them backpacks, pencils, and paper. It's taking care of them as a human being.
I think the biggest part in the parents and teachers and their child when they're in foster care is praising them. You know, I'm proud of you. I know you can do it. I believe in you. You're intelligent, you're beautiful, you're smart. My mom and my dad, they've always made sure that they've given me words of praise like that, and it just makes me believe that I can do it because they believe in me and that my teachers believed in me.
The Ventura County Office of Education supports school districts, social workers, educators, foster families, ed rights holders, with the goal of providing the best possible education for foster youth throughout the county. In our department, we do trainings for new foster parents. We like to make sure that they're, that they're informed, of all the resources that are available to them, all the rights that their foster youth have.
So for foster parents, what we really ask of them is to raise a foster child as if it's their own child. So that means going to back to school night, that means helping with homework, that means helping with the 4th grade mission project or whatever it might be. We really want these families to be fully involved in the child's educational experience.
I've seen some really fantastic support from some of the school staff when the students are identified as foster youth, and there are dedicated individuals, faculty, counselors that can work with them. I've found that having that kind of one-on-one relationship has been something that's very helpful.
The new role we're taking is really just to make, the big picture aware that, that the important question is if a youth is having trouble in school, the whys, what's going on with the youth, what have they been through, that brought them to this place in foster care.
I was taken out of my school district and placed in a school I didn't know anybody, and so it just kind of made it a little difficult to really focus on my schoolwork, and I didn't really have very strong support in high school.
Moving schools, the difficult part was switching curriculums, because I even to this day I feel that there are certain subjects that I'm just not good at just because of that movement.
So when children in foster care have to change schools, they lose anywhere between 3 to 6 months of academic progress. And so for kids that are likely already struggling in school, it really deepens the impact in terms of their academic progress and achievement.
AB 490 was the cornerstone legislation that was passed in 2004. It provided for sharing of information, which was probably the key. What it really did is it compelled probation, social workers, caretakers, advocates, educators to really work together to do the best they could to ensure that the education of the youth became the primary concern. But it includes school stability, words like best interest of the child in terms of school, school of origin, credit protection and grade protection for the youth that do transfer, immediate enrollment if the youth is forced to move. It established liaisons at all the school districts.
I work for Ventura Unified School District. I'm the Homeless and Foster Youth Family Liaison. My role, I believe, is one of making sure that when a foster youth is coming into our district or leaving our district, that it is as least amount of stress for that student as possible.
School was always my haven. It was always the place where I could definitely know that everything was going to be okay. I'm learning, I'm having fun, I'm actually smiling. Staying at the same school assists because at a school you already have connections and you know who to go to if you need help. If you just detach someone from that setting, then you pretty much leave the kid all alone all over again.
Some kids say, you know what, no one in my family has graduated from high school, Joanne. And I think, wow. And I say, you know what, and you're gonna be the first one and you're gonna have your diploma. And another protection that the students have is partial credits. So that if they've been moving around from school to school to school, they have the ability to get half a credit here and a point of a credit there, so that they're not losing all of that essential information and or having to go back and repeat themselves.
To actually graduate felt really nice because it felt like a week up until my graduation. I didn't know that I was actually going to be able to graduate with my class, and that gave me anxiety just because it's just like, why can't I go walk the line with my friends? And having my name during the rehearsal for graduation just made me feel so good, relieved. Without AB 216, I wouldn't have been able to do that.
The kids, when they change school, they lose those relationships, and during a time where they've already lost so much, their family, their home, possibly their siblings, it just adds to those losses and makes them feel even more insecure about who in their life is going to be able to look out for them and make sure that they're going to be okay.
I was not a child that made friends very easily, so my friends were my teachers, and I think that's why I've been able to connect with teachers the way I have, is because they were my go-to. I still talk to some of my elementary school teachers, my junior high teachers, and I have my Spanish teacher in high school that I had 3 years of Spanish with her. And we still talk to this day, and she was one of the most helpful people in persuading me to go to college.
Another barrier to success can be when they're getting to the point where they're thinking they might want to go to college. It's a big transition, and it's an entire new bureaucracy. So they're dealing with getting transcripts sent over, filling out forms, new documents that have to be produced, and filling out scholarship applications, filling out applications for school, trying to get meetings with the right people. It's a whole new ballgame, and there's not always someone there for them to guide them.
Going from high school to college was a difficult change, but the program that helped me out was the EOP program at CSU Channel Islands. In my sophomore year at CSU Channel Islands, I was in the EOP office, and Leticia met with me one day, and she told me about this amazing program called PATH and how I should be in it because I was in the foster care system.
The Promoting Achievement Through Hope program at CSU Channel Islands, it's a support service program that supports foster youth, students that are in guardianship or kinship care, also students that were adopted, and students that have experienced homelessness.
The program provided me with a lot of resources that I didn't have, such as scholarships, even a laptop. That was a great one. Books, because books are expensive in college. And just a center to feel safe and secure, somewhere where you just can go and relax, not really think about anything, and that's what PATH provided.
Programs like PATH help students build connections within the campus community and outside of CI. I'm able to assess, what type of resources they're already receiving from the campus community or maybe outside of CI.
She actually was the first stepping stone for me in college because she made it seem like it wasn't going to be very hard at all, and I have a lot of support throughout the whole process of school. So I felt like she was like the opening door for me for college.
Education is definitely the foundation to a better life, because with that you gain a different perspective about life, and you gain experience on how to navigate throughout it.
I love the resiliency of foster youth. It's just amazing that you go through services staffings, or you see a youth that has been pulled out and is in an emergency shelter, and you hear the story, that is going on with them, and then you see them, and they continue to really just want to reach out. They continue to want to do well, and they continue to meet the challenges of the trauma that's going on in their lives.
The biggest internal thing was just that I'm going to prove everyone wrong, that I'm not going to mess up, I'm not going to just be another statistic that's not going to college because you're in the foster care system.
I think one of the most happiest moments in my life was when I was walking down that graduation line, because I knew there was a sense of accomplishment. I knew that I had made not only myself proud, but my parents. They were the most important things to me.
If you ask a youth, foster youth, they're not going to really remember lots of the programs they went through or the resources they got. They're really going to remember the adult that reached out to them and stayed with them.
Building that trust between the agencies is so important for the students. But by working together as a community, we can do amazing things for these kids. And I'm so glad that here in Ventura we have that connection. We have everybody who's working together for the betterment of the child.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, and in no case is this more evident than in raising children in foster care. We are all responsible for ensuring our youth in foster care have the same opportunities to experience what most children take for granted: safety, love, nurturing, having their basic needs met, and the ability to grow into their potential. To learn more about how to support children in foster care, please visit fostervckids.org to find out all of the various programs available in support of your wonderful efforts in the lives of children. For our educators, teachers, and education professionals, as well as children and family services, we thank you for the work you do every day on behalf of these children in need. Please feel free to contact us at 805-437-1525 or fys@vcoe.org. And stay tuned for a list of ways you can help.